Well, I guess I got a little bit long-winded because that other video cut me off when I started to talk to you about the other things in the pucker potion besides just the Actigym. So what I'm going to talk about first is caffeine in it. So we know that caffeine, if you are drinking things with caffeine or consuming things with caffeine, that it gives you a boost of energy, but it also can have a tendency to dehydrate you if you're not compensating for it by having more fluids to drink. It's a little bit different though when you apply caffeine topically or to the skin. So what happens when we apply caffeine to the skin is we seem to see that things like the puffy bags around people's eyes diminish. And we've also seen that puckery skin, like what you see in areas where people tend to get cellulite, it seems to smooth out those areas a bit. So keep in mind that the caffeine doesn't actually get rid of the cellulite. What it does is, while it's actively working on the skin, it is helping to reduce the appearance of the cellulite. So the way that the caffeine does this is it penetrates the skin and it increases the glycerol content of the skin. So what this picture here is showing you is, this was a study done where they were looking at the skin's water content after consuming extra glycerol, so putting more glycerol into the body. So that's not exactly what our lotion is doing. What our lotion is doing is taking and stimulating more glycerol in the body itself. Okay, so what you can see here is the black lines are showing you what is happening to the control subject that had extra glycerol in their body. And then the dotted lines are the part of the study that did not have the extra glycerol. So when extra glycerol is readily available, the skin holds on to more water. And what this kind of shows you too is when you're living in higher humidity, your skin is going to have more moisture in it than lower humidity. So I'm not going to go into further detail with what the study was looking at, but pretty much what they were showing was that the caffeine interacted with this AQP3, which stimulated release of more glycerol, and with more glycerol, we saw an increased stratum corneum water content. Stratum corneum is the outermost layer of the skin. So, and with a thicker, more hydrated level of water in this part of the skin, we see less evidence of wrinkling, we see less evidence of bagginess, like around the eyes, baggy and puffy eyes, and we see less of the puckering of the cellulite. Then, what I wanted to discuss next was some of the things that we're putting into the product that help the caffeine and the Actigym to get into the skin. So the skin is an amazing organ, and it does a great job of protecting us, keeping things from it does a great job of protecting our body by keeping what should be outside the body out and keeping what should be inside the body in. So there are some ingredients that are called penetration enhancers that are going to help us to get particular ingredients into the skin that might normally be able to get in a little bit, but with the help of these penetration enhancers, we get a lot more benefit from it. One of these is called cosmopurine. Cosmopurine looks like this, well, before it's kind of refined to the product that I use when I'm creating the products. And if this looks a little bit like peppercorns, you would be correct in thinking that, because that is essentially what cosmopurine is derived from. So the active principle of black peppercorns. This helps with, it works as a penetration enhancer, but you will also find that black pepper is great if you're ever taking supplements like turmeric or curcumin. It's great for helping with absorption rates of things like that you're taking orally as well. Oh, when they talk about that down here. And so we add the cosmopurine because it helps with absorption rates, And you'll also see this in a lot of products like patches. Cannot recall off the top of my head if it's in the nicotine patch, but patches of that sort where they're trying to get a particular medicinal ingredient through the skin layer, they'll use something like cosmopurine. The other item that we use to help with absorption rate is the menthol. So there's not an awful lot of the menthol in this particular product, only because I didn't want it smelling like overly menthol, because we don't use any sort of scent in the product itself. So, but the menthol will also help to reduce the barrier on the skin and allow more of the active ingredients to get in. Okay, and there's one last little thing that I came across when I was trying to find a better picture in some of the studies to show you how the caffeine and how the Actigym was working. This is someone talking about some of the benefits of caffeine, which make me just want to use it in everything. So let me play this. Okay, wow. So imagine caffeine going into a sunscreen that people are then rubbing all over their bodies to make them look more youthful by having this nice plump skin that's nice and smooth, and then it's also fighting cancer at the same time. So that is about it for the second portion of this tutorial. I hope you got something out of it and you can share some of this information with your clients.